Welcome to the Supplement Engineer Podcast. My name is Robert Chinetsky. Today, we are joined by the owner of Apollon Nutrition and repeat guest of the Supplement Engineer Podcast, Mr. Robert Samborsky. How's it going today, buddy?
Good. How are you, Robert? Always good to see you.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, my man. So, it's been several months since we've officially talked in the podcast capacity. You and I text, it seems like almost every day, or going just covering industry drama or what's new with the families and whatnot. Catch the listeners up to speed on what's new with Apollon since last September-October timeframe.
The brand is evolving, definitely. I mean, everybody can see it, so it's not a hype. I mean, it's obviously we're growing. The brand is growing. More people know about Apollon. We definitely have a lot more respect in the industry from everybody who's looking for transparent labels, everybody who is more into hardcore trading, so to speak. Of course, with the territory, we also get a lot more haters, which is great. So that's just an acknowledgement that we are doing good.
Yeah.
And I developed a very thick skin, as you know, and you and I talk about it a lot. So I just basically, I'm actually looking forward to it now. It's almost like sickness now. Like if somebody doesn't hate me on a daily basis, I feel like something is missing. I'm doing something wrong. So I think the brand is growing, more flavors, more new products, and you know me. I mean, pretty much every time we release a new pre-workout or something, I mean, we modify the label because I actually just posted today about it on social media that the industry is evolving. Even though everybody talks about there is nothing new happening, that's not true. There is always something new happening. There is always more research done. There is always something works better. Something maybe is not as good as we thought it would be. So we keep changing. I mean, obviously, protein stays. You've reviewed our protein, so you know the hype is real. I mean, it's
delicious.
Really good. Protein's delicious, so we're not going to change anything about it. But things like pre-workouts, like Hooligan, like Enigma, the times are evolving. We are changing. The branding is changing. We are growing. So obviously, you know, we're trying to make it better with almost every batch if it's necessary.
You mentioned that with the increased popularity of the brand, that there's increased scrutiny from just in general, or the haters, as you were saying. Do you find it more from other brand owners, or is it more of reviewers, consumers, things like that, or people that would be loyalists or fanboys of other brands?
Well, I think the answer is it's not one-dimensional answer. It's a little bit more broad than that because, I mean, for example, let's talk about the fans first. I mean, people that know what they're looking for in a label, like yourselves, and people that understand what full transparency means and what the actual dosage of certain ingredients is required to be in order to deliver the results, obviously they love the brand. I mean, that goes without saying because, I mean, everything, I mean, you can't really pick on Apollon Nutrition when it comes to ingredients because if it's there, then it's supposed to be there and the dosage is correct. Now, talking about the so-called haters, I think that it's a wide spectrum because, for example, obviously, some other brand owners or companies, nobody likes when somebody's better. And I'm not saying it because it's a bold claim. It's a fact. You know, we are better than, I'm not going to go and say than everyone, but we are definitely better than majority of brands out there. And, you know, the truth is in a bottle. So obviously there is a hatred because, I mean, to step up and to deliver what we deliver will require more money. I mean, obviously the product's going to have to be more expensive.
Right.
If you want to match what we have in our containers, you're going to have to pay, which means your profit margins are going to go down. That goes without saying. So there is a bit of a hatred because they either have to step up or they resort to let us just say some shit about Apollon because, you know, that makes it easier. Right. Then, of course, you know, every brand has ambassadors and sports-sponsored athletes that are so-called, they dependent on a brand or they connected in some kind of way. There is no way they're going to say that Apollon is good, even if they're using it. Obviously, they're going to say something negative to kiss ass or, you know, to be more in line with what the manufacturer or the brand owner will say about Apollon. So, you know, everybody supports his own team, which is, I'm absolutely fine with that because, I mean, in reality, that's just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have, as sad as it is, you know, store owners. You know, they're going to bring, majority of store owners going to bring products that they can get the most margins on. So, you know, the cheaper the product is, the more margin. I mean, if you're going to sell, say, Apollon Nutrition pre-workout Hooligan, say for $45 or $50, and you can
Hmm.
sell something that you're getting for maybe half the price, obviously you're going to push that product. And if somebody going to come to the store and going to say like, well, why don't you have Hooligan? He's going to say something shitty about it
Hmm.
because that's the only way to justify why they don't carry the product.
Yeah.
So you get hate, I guess, on different spectrums of the industry.
Hmm. What steps can brands take? Because y'all make exceptional products that are very well dosed, and there's other brands that make high quality products too. Like you were saying, you are better than a considerable majority of the population. You're not better than everybody, but so there's obviously certain companies that are doing very well dosed products like
Absolutely.
y'all, and they're obviously going to cost a premium. So what steps can you and other brand owners take to reinforce to even the store owners and say, hey, this is what you should be pushing, not the bullshit prop blend products that are pixie dusted with 6 grams of beta alanine and a gram of creatine.
Well, I think it comes down to basically educating the consumer. It's not the consumer's fault that they don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe they buying a product because it's a shiny bottle. Maybe they buying a product because their favorite athlete says it's good, even though he's using something else.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, we've seen that happen. I mean, I know because Apollon has a lot of pro athletes that are training here,
Hmm.
and obviously I'm not going to name who they are, but they sponsored by other companies, yet they're using our product or products by other companies, and
Ah.
we've seen it a lot. I mean, it's not a secret. It's
Hmm.
something that everybody knows about it, even if we don't maybe talk about it in open. So it comes down to basically educating the consumer, because maybe I'm an expert in one field, but you're an expert in a different field.
Hmm.
So it would be stupid with me for me to argue with you. I'd rather get educated on a subject and learn, what's best for me and why.
Hmm.
It's very easy to say because this is the example that is used the most when it comes to, for example, Hooligan, the 600 milligram of caffeine. Someone will scream that way too much, not necessary,
Hmm.
dangerous, and so on and so on and so on. But somebody like you know that there is nothing wrong with it. In fact, some people can take it, maybe even should be taking that much because nothing else works for them.
Yep.
So it comes to personal preference, but nothing wrong with 600 milligram of caffeine, nothing wrong with 800 milligram of caffeine. It's actually a studied, confirmed dosage of what we talked about it recently.
Hmm.
400 to, I believe, 900 is absolutely normal dosage for a healthy athlete.
Yeah.
And that we are selling the product to. So, for example, if uh, you talked about review channels, right? So if a review channel says, and we discussed it, that a certain review channel said that we are reckless and we're putting up stupid products and there is no science behind it. Well, there is science behind it.
Hmm.
It's just not for everybody.
Right.
Our products are not for everybody, and we're going to stick to our guns and going to manufacture for the. We're going to release products that are intended for specific target market.
Hmm.
However, when you see a product that has 500 milligram or 1,000 milligram of citrulline, you and I both know that it's bullshit.
Correct.
It's just severely underdosed. So if somebody like yourself who reviews products going to say that this product is shit,
Hmm.
well, there is science behind it. It is shit. It's underdosed.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So it comes to educating the consumer. I think that's a fact. And unfortunately, the review channels who they should be held accountable for the bullshit and for the lies
Hmm.
that some can provide, lying to the consumer just because they get paid. And you and I discussed it. I know for a fact, and everybody who knows you and they know character, you refuse to take sponsorship. Not only are you not getting paid, but you refuse to take sponsorship for your reviews.
Yeah.
Now, somebody who takes sponsorship or gets paid for a review and says that a certain product is good, I mean, it doesn't sit well with me.
Hmm.
It never will. And I, I talked about it with the review brothers. I don't see justification for a proprietary blend. I will never see it. I refuse to see it.
Yeah.
And no matter what people will say, I will never buy it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on the Review Brothers thing because I know that's causing quite a stir in the industry for a number of things that you had touched on. Um, so yeah, you just made yourself clear on what you think about prop blends. Do you ever see there could be a justification for a proprietary blend anywhere? Because I mean, even
Uh,
a lot of just as a side example, because a common argument they'll make is that, well, your can of Diet Coke and all of the processed foods in your pantry are prop blends, and nobody has an issue with that. So why do they have an issue with dietary supplements using prop blends? So what would you say in a situation like that?
Well, for example, you go and you buy a burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
You buy a burger mostly because you're hungry
Mm-hmm.
and because it tastes good. So if you're fan, for example, of McDonald's, we can say whatever we want about McDonald's, but the fact is it's a very popular burger joint. Always was and probably always will be. So no matter what you and I say about it, people go there primarily to eat and enjoy a
Mm-hmm.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
However, it's different. It's not consumed for performance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're taking something like a pre-workout, I know somebody like you, you're a geek just like me,
Yeah.
and you want to know what's in your product.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want, whether you want something, for example, like a Pico 2, because you running nonstop and you're an endurance athlete,
Right.
you know exactly how much Pico 2 is supposed to be in a product.
Mm-hmm.
We know the dosage that works, and we know the dosage that just doesn't work because
Yeah.
it's not backed up by science.
Right.
So while you can go and have a burger because you're just enjoy a burger and it doesn't really matter what's in it. We know that McDonald's is not exactly the healthiest burger,
Right.
but we enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoy it, or some people do enjoy it. So you go for one specific purpose,
Mm-hmm.
to kill your cravings, to eat, and to enjoy. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. But for example, if you're taking a pre-workout and you and I both know that citrulline is supposed to be what, between 3 to 6,000 milligram,
Yeah.
8,000 milligrams, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So if I give you a proprietary blend pre-workout, it says citrulline in it. Don't you think that if you want to have a certain amount of citrulline, then you should know exactly how much citrulline is in that product because you know exactly what it's supposed to deliver during your workout. So I would not have a problem specifically with a proprietary blend if I knew, like, for example, if I'm looking for citrulline in my product,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a pre-workout with certain amount of citrulline. Maybe I don't give a shit about caffeine. Maybe I don't give a shit about tyrosine. But
Mm-hmm.
specifically citrulline, I want to know that I'm getting my 3,000 milligram minimum. So
Right.
if I know that it's a proprietary blend and it doesn't have 3,000 milligram of citrulline, but
Mm-hmm.
I like the pre-workout, I can at least go and buy pure citrulline
Mm-hmm.
and add it to my pre-workout.
Right.
So I have to know what's in it. I just can't justify proprietary blend. I don't
Yeah.
see how it's possible because, and speaking of review brothers, when you go and hire a contest prep coach, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically repeating myself. So if you hire me or you hire somebody, I don't do contest prep, but if you hire a contest prep coach,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen any of those programs. Usually he says to you, 8 ounces of chicken, 12 ounces of steak. He doesn't say to you, Robert, just have chicken. No, he actually tells you specifically how much chicken you should take.
Mm-hmm.
He tells you how much sweet potato you should have, you know. And if you're using performance enhancers like, I don't know, testosterone or DECA or HGH,
Right.
you will know exactly how many milligrams you're supposed to take on a weekly basis,
Right.
and more likely you're even going to have a schedule when to take it.
Mm-hmm.
You're also going to know how much GH you should take. So you have all that because it goes directly into your physique. It goes directly into your performance.
Mm-hmm.
So you should know. So as much as I don't have a problem with proprietary blend, if somebody wants to use it, be my guest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not an opinion based on science. It's an opinion based on personal opinion. I am against it. I want to know what's in my pre-workout. I want to know what kind of protein I'm using. If you're saying that this product is pure whey protein, how much? I want to know that my whey protein, even I don't have a problem with concentrate,
Yeah.
but I want my concentrate to be 80.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. And I think that when I'm paying for my product and I'm putting it specifically into my body, I deserve that right. I have that right to know exactly what I'm putting in my body.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion. However, I never said that it's wrong for you to go and buy a product that is a proprietary blend. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Be my guest. I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But for argument's sake, my product to manufacture, to make a whole again, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very expensive product. So I'm listing everything. I could list just like that. I could list everything and put it in a proprietary blend
Mm-hmm.
and use half of it. It's going to cost me half the money, and I could charge the same price.
Right.
So I am cheating you. I am cheating you if I'm selling you a proprietary blend whole again. That's just, it's a fact. There is no ifs, buts. It's a fact. I'm lying. I'm cheating, and I'm trying to maximize my profits.
Hmm.
That's it.
Is there, from the manufacturing side, the manufacturers, because they know how in demand transparently labeled products are, do you think they ever just kind of fudge the numbers and just make it just that a little bit more expensive to make a product transparently labeled than a prop blend, even if the cost of the ingredients were the same? So say we have one product that uses a prop blend. It's got 3 grams of citrulline, 200 milligrams of caffeine, and like 5 milligrams of black pepper extract, and that's in a prop blend, and it's in a 3.25 prop, 3.205 prop blend. And then you've got another product that's transparently labeled, and it says, hey, we've got 3 grams of citrulline, 200 milligrams of caffeine, and 5 grams of bioperine. Do manufacturers do anything like that, where they might just, increase the cost just a little bit because they know that transparently labeled products come off as being higher priced, and therefore they should be costing more, and they'll pass that cost on to you guys?
You know what? I'm actually gonna say yes.
Hmm.
I believe so. I'm not gonna say every manufacturer,
Yeah.
definitely not. But I can tell you this: we manufactured certain products with two different manufacturers,
Hmm.
and I can tell you exactly the same product, exactly the same quantity. The cost was not slightly, but radically different.
Like
And I'm
several
pretty
dollars per bottle on the cost of goods you're talking about?
I mean, we talked because I mean, on average, a pre-workout can cost you anywhere from as low as $2, $3. It can be as high as 12, 13, 14, $15.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a fact that there was a product that we manufactured with that we made with two different manufacturers,
Hmm.
and the difference was about, as far as I remember, probably $3 or $4, which is extremely significant when you're ordering thousands of units. And
Yeah.
especially considering that we're not talking about a product that costs $372. We're talking about product that cost, anywhere between $8 to $12. So when the difference is $4, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah. And plus
So
those savings will get passed on to the consumer more, because if it's costing you, let's just put a ballpark number, $10 a tub to make a product, you're going to probably sell that to the distributors at 20, and then they're going to sell that to the stores to 40, and the stores are going to have to sell it for $40, $45 in order for
absolutely.
everybody to get their cut of it and still make money at the end of the day.
Well, I can tell you right now with the whole trade war with China, the latest hooligan that we're about to release, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. You've seen the formula. I showed it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more loaded than the current one.
Yeah.
So we're not planning to change the price. So our price direct to the consumer and our price to stores is going to be identical as the current one,
Mm-hmm.
which means we actually losing money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a competitive business, and I'm trying my best to deliver. I'm very competitive by nature. I don't know whether it has to do with martial arts. Uh, I don't know. I mean, you can relate to it because when you lost a tournament or something like that, it probably didn't sit well with you for a long time.
No, you pissed off for a while, and plus, I
You
think it's in
pissed
your
off.
nature too. You're part Russian too, so I think y'all always have that contentious nature in you too.
It's in my nature. When I see something that is potentially better than mine, it pisses me off. I mean,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with business. It's just my nature. That's just the
Hmm.
way I am.
Right.
So, the new hooligan is definitely going to cost us I would say a few dollars more than the current one that we have.
Hmm.
Yet we're going to still make the same profit. Oh, well, not the same profit. We're actually going to make less profit, but the price is going to remain the same.
Hmm.
So, I am in a way bragging about it. I'm not even denying it. I'm bragging about it because I saw last night actually on one of the websites. I saw a company that has a pre-workout that I think has a total serving of 6 grams, 6 or 7 grams. It's fully transparent,
Hmm.
but while Hooligan has over 20 grams, this one has about, I think, six, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
But the price online was $55. $55. I was
Holy
absolutely
shit.
shocked. I could tell just by looking at the label that the cost to manufacture that product, I mean, half of what Hooligan is.
Yeah.
And that's being very conservative. At least half. But the price is $55.
Yeah.
So that just shows you, that not only manufacturers but also some of the brands, they're taking a full advantage of the fact, like, look, we're fully transparent, we're kicking ass,
Hmm.
even though, because we talk shit constantly about, at least I do, about proprietary blends, but I mean, let's be honest. You've seen a lot of transparent labels that are shit too.
Yeah. Or they're half dosing stuff and saying, well, there's synergy here. I mean, I buy the synergy argument with a few things like nootropics, especially because those can get really. If you take full doses of too many nootropics that are synergistic, that can really leave you in a brain fog for a while. I'm not as sold on it with things like citrulline and agmatine yet, just because we don't have enough human data to do it, and I think we need more stuff to that. I wish there was more funding available to start doing more of these studies in humans and over a prolonged trial in resistance trained athletes, so we could get. Can we get by with the lower doses of citrulline? Possibly, but do we actually know that? We don't know. So let's
We
start.
don't, and we,
Yeah,
we don't know about a lot of ingredients, so to speak. I mean,
right,
we just, we suspect there may be a study or two, but it's never conclusive because nobody really invests in it.
right.
It's, when somebody talks about gray area products, like, you and I, again, we discussed this.
Hmm.
Say, for example, DMHA. DMHA, you can see as low as 50 milligram in a pre-workout, and
Hmm.
you can see as high as 300.
Yeah,
The thing is, will 300 work better than 50? Absolutely. Is that the correct dosage? Who the fuck knows?
right.
We don't know. And anyone who's going to claim they know, we don't know. We actually know about caffeine. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
People talk about caffeine, how good it is or how bad it is,
Hmm.
yet there is no need to discuss it. The data is right there. Just go and Google it.
Yeah.
It's like so many studies on caffeine that there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I keep saying it again and again and again. If you have a heart condition, if you have health issues, you shouldn't be drinking caffeine, period.
Yeah.
It's up to you to know, whether you're a healthy individual or you're not. I
Right.
mean, honestly, is 200 milligram of caffeine high? For some people, it is.
Hmm.
For some people, 200 milligram of caffeine is way too much. And I've seen people not being able to handle 200 milligram of caffeine,
Yeah.
and some people, because of medical issues, should not even be touching it,
Hmm.
period. But there are disclaimers. There's also conclusive data. We have research on caffeine.
Hmm.
We don't have that on DMHA.
Nope.
The government is about to ban it, but why? We
Yeah.
don't know. At least I haven't heard at least about one adverse reaction to DMHA where somebody had health issues or something like that. I mean, we probably would find out, but we don't know. However,
Yeah.
I don't rule it out of the question that maybe there are some long-term side effects that we're just not aware of.
Hmm.
Like, I'm willing to admit it. I
Yeah.
just don't know whether it's at 50 milligram or maybe 1,000 milligram because we don't know.
Yeah.
Saying that somebody is reckless, like I, for example, was accused of using too much. How can you accuse me of using too much of something that nobody knows what too much is?
Yeah. I would agree with that, and it may be hypertensive in that it'll cause a rise in blood pressure. We don't know. There's
We,
just
that's the thing, and we don't know a lot about a lot of ingredients. We
yeah.
know about protein, we
Right.
know about BCAs, we know the EAAs, and then this is going to be something. But you and I both know EAAs are bullshit. It's bullshit. I mean, it helps to an extent, but not what it's made out to be. Just go eat your protein, and that's it,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
Exactly. Get it
It's
up.
so whenever somebody goes like, "Do you guys have EAs?" Yeah, we will have EAs.
Yeah.
We will. There is market for it, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. EAs are definitely not bad.
Hmm.
It's not something that's going to harm you. It's just not something that is a do or die. You can go without it.
Right. And we were at Sandy and I were at our little local burger joint here over the weekend grabbing lunch, and I could see a tub of EAAs behind the counter that one of the guys I think it's the manager there is sipping on, because you can tell he kind of works out. He's got the build that he hits the gym regularly and whatnot. And it's he had a tub of the prop blended Real, or the REAAL ones, the ones that was it's the prop blended essential amino acid formula that was created by the guy who published that study saying that EAAs are better than BCAAs, but at the same time, he held the patent or the trademark on this proprietary blend of ingredients. So it's, I mean, I think EAAs are starting to reach the mainstream more, but there, and people like Ben Greenfield and all of them are saying the benefits of essential amino acids, and you can use it when you're fasting, and it won't break your fast, which is bullshit, by the way, because it'll stimulate a release in insulin. It will break a fast and all that other crap. And Mark Bell is saying much of the same thing. And I've heard him say that on a few of his podcasts. That he said, "Oh, I'm fasting for 72 hours, but I'm sipping EAAs during my training." Well, then you're not fasting, numbnuts. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, that just shows that, that the consumer is not educated. And not only is the consumer not educated, unfortunately, the consumer also tends to believe people that are profiting from lies.
Yeah.
Lies. I mean, plain and simple, they're profiting from lies. Every time I drink our chainsaw, and you've tried it, it tastes delicious. And when people are asking me, why are you drinking it? I like the taste.
Yeah, it beats water.
I like the fact that it has electrolytes because I'm sweating my butt off when I train. In terms of benefit, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
but it's do or die product. It's not. It's my product. But for me, I don't feel comfortable lying. I just don't feel comfortable lying because to me, somebody like you gonna call me on my bullshit. And I know a lot of people when you call on that bullshit, they don't give a shit. I do. I do because number one, I respect you. Number two, I know because you're doing your research. And number three, there is maybe a very small percentage of people, but nevertheless, I mean, clearly they buying our products. There is a percentage of people that actually do know. They do understand.
Yeah.
And I every time I'm on Facebook and I see some Facebook ad where it says the strongest pre-workout, I want to scream into the fucking screen. Fuck you, you're lying. I have the strongest pre-workout. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely the strongest. So shut the fuck up. And then you scroll down and there is identical ad, the strongest pre-workout. And you scroll down and there is another strongest pre-workout. And then there is the best tasting protein. And there's Pure Whey, best quality protein. You're looking at it like, what the fuck are you talking about? Unfortunately, when you click and you read some of the comments, there are people who are actually supporting it. And there are people who believe that shit. And I have a problem with it. I just don't feel comfortable lying. I just don't feel comfortable lying. I will tell you, and every time you and I discuss this, I always said I don't have the best pre-workout. I think our pre-workout is among the best, for sure. And we have 4 different ones that cater to different needs.
Yeah.
I know we have the strongest pre-workout. That goes without saying.
Right.
But is it the best? No, because you all have different needs.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. There can never be a best.
Yeah, me and TJ actually, we discussed this. What's the best pre-workout on the market? It doesn't exist.
Right.
It just doesn't exist. If Hooligan is your choice because you want that kick, well, you're a fucking moron. Because just have 2 banks, it's going to deliver exactly the same amount of caffeine, and you're good to go. Yeah. However, if you're taking a pre-workout like Hooligan, well, don't overlook the fact that it has citrulline. Don't overlook the fact that it has an agmatine. Don't overlook the fact that it has tyrosine and a whole list of ingredients that you can actually benefit from.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it also will give you a kick like no other pre-workout. If that's what you're looking for, then yes, it's the best pre-workout on the market, without a doubt. But the best pre-workout doesn't exist. And you and I would never argue about it because maybe your favorite pre-workout is not exactly mine. It's the same thing as arguing about chicken and steak. You like chicken, I like steak. Is my steak better than your chicken? No. It's just something that I like. However, when it comes to protein, yes, there is good protein and there's shit protein. It's a fact.
Right.
It all comes down to educating the consumer, and it's a fight. It's a fight. It's definitely an uphill battle because it's not a fight that I actually, when I talked to the owner of NutriBio, to Mark, a couple of years ago, we discussed the fact that the trend is shifting towards transparent labels, non-proprietary blends. And I would be very sad to admit that we didn't win the battle, and we're not gonna win the battle. It's not. We can maybe improve. Maybe we can win some of the positions and few fights.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna win the overall battle. It's just not gonna happen because some girl with big tits and huge ass who has 3 million or 10 million followers is going to promote a product that she doesn't even know what it consists of,
Right.
and all of a sudden an army of people are buying it. So we can't beat her
Yeah.
because just we don't have that ass.
Hmm.
That's a fact. So, and looking at you and me, we can't beat her. Nobody's going to listen to us. I mean, people will listen to us, the few intelligent ones.
Yeah.
Let's face it, it's a battle we will not win. The shitty products will continue existing.
Hmm.
They will be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And without, again, naming any brands, you and I both know that actually the shitty companies are doing better than the good ones.
Yeah, and they've got the marketing budget to back it up. Unfortunately, a lot of the time. Do you
They
think the increased scrutiny from the FDA is going to help weed out any of these crappier products that are using prop blends?
No,
No.
no, I don't think so. I think, like I said, it's you take any fighter, most of the time he has a few wins and a few losses.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just the fact. The longer you go, the more there is a chance that you will lose.
Right.
And I think that FDA can step up, and I actually like what they've been doing. To be honest,
Hmm.
I like it. I mean, they're eliminating a lot of shit. I mean, there are a lot of things that I don't agree with what they're doing. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But on the other hand, I mean, cleaning up the industry would be very, very nice. I just don't think that you can win because as long as proprietary blend exists, you can win. But even if you, say for argument's sake, remove proprietary blend, we just talked about the fact that there's companies that are releasing transparent labels, fully disclosed labels, and they still manufacture shit.
Yeah.
But again, you just answered that question. They have the budget. They have the investors.
Right.
They can buy shitload of Facebook ads. They can buy every model, actor, and influencers that people are actually going to listen to.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I mean, how many times we've seen an athlete who was sponsored by different brands, and he goes from one shitty brand to another shitty brand to another shitty brand, and every time he says exactly the same thing. This
Yeah.
is the best company ever. This is the best protein. This is the strongest pre-workout. He's lying through his teeth. He's
Oh
lying.
yeah, he's paid to say it.
He's paid to say it. He's paid to say it. Yet you heard him say that with one brand, then he says it with this brand, and as soon as the contract is over and somebody offers him more money, he's going to be saying it with the next brand.
Yeah.
Yet his army of followers will keep buying what he preaches, and it doesn't matter what you or I have to say about it,
Correct.
because to them he's God.
Yeah. That's I think part of what's making the industry even more convoluted, and I think it's watering down a lot of products and bringing not undue necessary competition, but it's bloating the market with a bunch of unnecessary copycat products with all these fitness influencers and whatnot. And every athlete's starting their own brand now, or they're breaking away from the brand that they were big with, and then they're shooting off to go start their own brand. I've seen it, 4 or 5 times in the last 6 months. And I think it dilutes the industry, and it makes it harder for the consumers to know what decent products are from crappy ones, because they're just going to follow their favorite actors, pre-workout or fitness person or CrossFitters or bodybuilders or whatever they're doing, instead of getting down in the weeds. We were just at a retirement party this past weekend, and I was getting a bunch of questions about keto diets and keto supplements and all that shit. And that's just, they said, oh well, I saw on this person's Instagram feed and that they were doing this. I'm thinking, no, 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 don't. It's not magical. It's not so. It's a never ending uphill battle.
Well, there's a perfect example, actually, something that I read last night, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to serve as an example. So there is a company out of New Jersey that they do meal prep. It's called Eat Clean Bro.
Hmm.
It's a very, very popular brand. I've tried the food. The food is good. They heavy into marketing, and they're very successful. They're
Hmm.
very successful. Again, I'm not saying anything negative because I have nothing but positive things to say about them. But the reason why I'm using them as an example is because the owner, I believe, said something very, very interesting. He said that they made food, or they collaborated with somebody who is a social media Instagram celebrity or something like that.
Hmm.
And as soon as it was announced, either by them or by that celebrity, they added 40,000 followers in 24 hours. I mean, that just says to you, and again, it's a good brand. Don't get me wrong, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. I'm, I'm just saying that how much an influencer that that people look up to or
Hmm.
fans will change it. So, for example, if that was shitty food, they would still get 40,000 followers.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. That's how much we pay attention. Or well, I don't,
Yeah,
but
the masses do.
the majority of people are paying attention to influencers and stuff like that. I mean, I just returned from the manufacturer and we discussed something where people right now it's very cool and fashionable, I guess, is to dry scoop the pre-workout. I
Hmm.
mean, it's the stupidest thing ever. It's just fucking dumb. But yet everybody is doing it. Why? Because it gets attention on social media.
Yeah.
Because people are paying attention. They say, "Wow, it's cool." Well, I look at it like, really? Why would you do that?
Uh,
It tastes like shit.
yeah. I like drinking my pre-workouts too. It's fun to sip on it. It's a nice little pre-workout ritual.
It's a ritual. Exactly. You nailed it. It's a ritual. It's a stupid ritual,
Yeah.
but nevertheless, you can sip on your pre-workout and nobody's gonna click or like your stuff.
Right.
But as soon as you dry scoop it, all of a sudden you're the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah. Well, I want to see them do that with a 20-gram scoop pre-workout, like Hooligan just do 600
I- I've,
milligrams to the
I've, I've
dome.
seen that happen. I've seen that happen too. I've seen that happen too. Like I said, I mean, it's cool. I get it because I mean, I'm paying attention myself.
Yeah.
So obviously it gets my attention. I won't pay attention if you just drink it, but it just shows us as a society how dumb we are if we are clicking on that.
Yeah.
Or I just saw some company posted a picture or of this girl that she looks like a porn star. Her boobs are like this. Her ass is humongous. Her arms, she looks like she never lifted a weight in her life.
Hmm.
Yet on her page it says sponsored athlete. She's never been on stage. She's never competed. She's never done anything, but she has over 1 million followers. And that's somebody, that people will listen. I'm sorry, no disrespect, over you.
Yeah. No, I
That's
agree. Sex sells.
you know,
I'm fully aware of
so,
that.
like I said, I mean, can we change that? No, we can't.
Yeah.
We can discuss it, we can talk shit about it, but there's nothing. That's the reason why I don't think the industry is going to change. I
Hmm.
think that can Apollon grow? Yes, but it will grow to a certain level,
Hmm.
and it will never. Ever, and it's not because I'm a loser or I don't have aspirations or anything like that. That's not true. I'm just very realistic.
Hmm.
I know that it's never going to be a mainstream brand. Well, number one, because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Number two, it's because I'm going to have to make drastic changes. First of all, Hooligan's going to have to be toned down. It's gonna have to be more mainstream.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to concentrate rather on than the ingredients. I'm gonna have to concentrate on flavors. Even though I mean you've tried most of our products, they taste
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to invest in people, not necessarily champions or accomplished athletes. I'm going to have to invest in people that are borderline porn stars.
Yeah. That
And
marketing SEO gurus to gain the search engines and everything too.
obviously, I'm going to have to bring investors, and I'm going to have to
Yeah.
just go completely out of my comfort zone. And I talked actually to a potential investor because I want to keep the company as it is right now.
Hmm.
I like the way it is. I like to grow, but I would like the core to remain exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, when I saw that we are growing, I met with somebody who would be a potential investor,
Hmm.
and I was open to an idea for about 5 minutes
Yeah.
until he said to me, like, he looked at the label and he says, "Well, how can we cut cost?" And as soon as he said that, it was over.
Yeah.
It was over because one thing you cannot accuse me of is cutting corners.
Hmm.
We're about to release Hooligan number 4. You can take all 4 labels and you will see from the first one to the fourth one
Hmm.
up, which means the cost was up too.
Right.
So I'm putting more into product, not necessarily not just stimulants. No, I'm actually putting more ingredients that work,
Hmm.
ingredients that make the product better.
Yeah.
Yet they are expensive products. They
Hmm.
expensive ingredients. So I could take the route, and I'm sure you've been in the industry for a while now. I'm sure you've seen brands that are actually cutting corners. They release something great, all of a sudden the label changes.
Yeah. That's what I was. That's one thing I was going to touch on. You mentioned going more mainstream, and I think I've seen several companies do this now where they started off in one niche and they grew bigger, and as they continue to grow bigger and get more into the limelight and become a bigger name, they've started to lose their edge a little bit or be willing to take less chances with formulas and just make things that are a little bit more vanilla, a little bit less exciting, or just start throwing in garbage ingredients like green coffee bean extract or shit like that, just because it's got name recognition with the people instead of being true to their core values of wanting to make an effective science-based product.
Well, I think going back about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a new company. Back then, it was a brand new company,
Mm-hmm.
and they had extremely powerful pre-workout.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. So we didn't have Apollon Nutrition, so we were carrying the pre-workouts at our gym.
Mm-hmm.
So we were selling it by the scoop to gym members. Everybody loved it. It worked. It delivered a punch and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't remember, after a year, two, maybe three, the brand grew and got bigger and better. I mean, not necessarily better, but it definitely got bigger.
Yeah.
So as it got bigger, a few people walked into the gym. They bought a scoop of pre-workout, and I started getting comments such as, and they pissed me off because I didn't know much about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what it used to be like. It's not as strong as it used to be like. It doesn't feel the same. And the comments kept coming, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was getting into arguments with people. It's the same company, it's the same product, it's the same brand. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting into arguments and I was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Finally, because I was just buying it, they would deliver it, we would put it on the shelf, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed the container, I'm looking on the label, I'm like, holy shit. It's different.
Completely brand new product.
It's a different product. It has less shit in it than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
The company is bigger. Now they're cutting cost. And now these days they're at Walmart and whatnot. I mean, it's a huge brand, and they make it just not what it used to be like.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of success, they're probably making a lot more money than 5, 6 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
they're probably a lot more successful because they're more mainstream.
Yeah.
But they've changed everything about how they operating they business.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, I mean, I understand we all want to make money, we all want to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
but I still believe that, I don't know, maybe I'm old fashioned, I still believe in integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I still believe that, to me, for example, I keep saying it again and again, a lot of people know me, and I know a lot of people, but not many people I call friends.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and after, you're probably going to review more products of ours. So after my statement right now, people might suspect you of doing something wrong. But to me, you're a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I consider you a close friend because you and I bullshit about different things. We text message each other like we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I would be very, very ashamed of myself if you would review a hooligan and say like, wow, this is not what it used to be like.
Right.
And knowing you, I know you would call me on my bullshit immediately.
Yeah.
And I would not be okay with it. Because I know I'm about to send you the new hooligan in 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's your range. I know personally you like the range of caffeine to be 300 or 400 milligram. That's your personal thing.
Yeah.
I know that you not the 600, 700, 800 milligram guy of caffeine, but I know you will not talk shit about it. Why?
Right.
Because you know that there is a place for 600, 700 milligram of caffeine in a pre-workout.
Yeah. And there's data to back it up.
And what I'm about to send you, I'm perfectly not even confident. It's a fucking fact. Mm-hmm. You will not say anything negative about the product, and I know that. Why? Because it's gonna be hooligan, but better.
Yeah.
I know that, so I'm not ashamed of myself, but I would be very, very ashamed, and I think our friendship would be in jeopardy too. Our trust level would be in jeopardy if the hooligan that I'm about to send you mm-hmm. was lesser than what I used to have.
Yeah, and if anybody ever questioned my assessment of it, all they need to do is look at Sandy, because she's not going to sugarcoat it. She could be your best friend, and if you did something shitty, she's going to tell you it sucks.
Exactly, and that's the thing. So it's just. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to do what we are doing, and I'm going to, make products for a specific audience, for a specific consumer. Mm-hmm. There's athletes, people that do care about what's in a label, people that listen to your shows, people that actually care about what you have to say, and people like you, like TJ, Review Brothers, people that actually know the label and can explain the label.
Yeah.
And the consumer actually cares about what he is putting into his body. So I don't want to sound like a complete hater when it comes to proprietary blend. So I'm actually going to retract what I said. Not that I hate them. I just don't agree. I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to use them, be my guest. I have nothing against it. Please, personally, it's not for me. Personally, I don't believe in it. And personally, I think that the label should be fully disclosed, even if it's a shitty one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think consumers have a right to know what they're putting into their body, regardless of what it is.
Especially when it comes to health, and especially when it comes to performance.
Yeah, stimulants especially. And we just saw that. You sent me that video today of that MMA fighter that just got busted for having ibuprofen in his water cutting supplement that he got from another supplement company.
Well, we can say it because it's everywhere on the news. It's Gold Star, and the product was, I believe it was a fat burner that he used.
Yeah, ShedRx or ShedX or something like that.
As far as I know, it was a proprietary blend. As far as I know, I think it actually was. But they were able to hide, that there was an illegal substance in it. We're talking about a person's career. We're talking about everything. UFC fighters get tested.
Yeah.
They get tested. So do some of them cheat? Absolutely. At least they try to.
Yeah.
But this guy, he was not. It's 27 million, a little excessive. I think it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe it's a crime. What happened to him?
Yeah.
What if you're going to put something that a certain person is allergic to? What if you're going to put something in that product that is, that the fighter or an athlete getting drug tested, and his career, his sponsorships, his livelihood depends on it, maybe his health. So, what happened, I'm happy for him because, he deserves to get paid, and I think what was done to him was wrong.
Yeah,
hopefully. Yeah, hopefully some of the companies will take notice, although I don't think it's going to change anything.
Yeah. Funny thing about the Gold Star thing happening, that was the first pre-workout I ever tried DMHA in. It was their Triple X supplement. Now, this was back in 2015, I think was the first time I tried DMHA, which it felt so good the first time I had it. It makes me wonder, was it actually DMHA in there, or was it something else because of given recent events?
Well, not only that, they were the first ones, I believe, that also maybe 3 years ago, because I tried it myself, and when I saw that I didn't know any better, like I'm willing to admit it, actually. In our product, Shogun, we had ephedra. We had ephedra, and I'm willing to admit I didn't know any better. And they had ephedra in the fat burner as well. And then I don't remember who it was. Somebody pointed me out, which I was very embarrassed about, that ephedra contained no ephedra.
Yeah, there's no ephedrine alkaloids in them anymore.
There is no ephedrine in it. And I was ashamed because I honestly did not know. I thought that, like, whoa, you know what? I'm using like something that is a gray area, blah, blah, blah. I was using an ingredient that was legally called ephedra without containing any ephedrine in it.
Yep.
It's embarrassing. And I remember that they were also one of those companies, because I was not the only one, and they weren't the only one. There was actually a few companies that have ephedra in it, and people think that I'm using the real deal. You're not.
Right.
It's bullshit. It's a lie. So, what happened was unfortunate. I think justice was served. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to see any major changes when it comes to the future of the supplement industry. I just think that tits and ass will continue selling.
Yeah.
I think popular athletes, celebrities will continue, getting paid top dollar, and I don't know if we can call it lying, because I'm pretty sure they're not even knowledgeable when it comes to the supplements.
Right.
Just saying, it's the same thing as, we use McDonald's as an example. You and I are going to get paid to say that McDonald's is a great tasting burger. So, we say something that bullshit, but it is what it is. Right. So I think until that exists, it's not a battle that I can win, or Mark can win, or anyone with a transparent label can win.
Yeah.
We're just going to have our audience, we're going to have our followers, we're going to have our faithful, believers in us and our products and our brands,
Hmm.
and that's it. But the majority of people and the mainstream market, we're not winning it over. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
You mentioned earlier that DMHA has been kind of spotlighted by the FDA, and it's likely on the way out. Have you heard anything about, and because each year the supplement industry gets some kind of new stimulant, or they're waiting for the new stimulant. We had DMHA for a while. That's on the way out now. Areadrensis has been around for a while, and I don't know where it stands. Have you heard much about the future of Areadrensis? Is it on the way out? Has it been targeted as at all, or is it kind of just, or is the industry looking to just ride it out for as long as possible?
Well, I know that we are reformulating Assassin. I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to release it or not because DMHA and before that DMA was the driving force behind it.
Yeah.
I still say that those pre-workouts are for stim junkies. I don't think that they serve like real performance and advantages. And
Right.
when review brothers asked me if Assassin is better than Hooligan, absolutely not.
Hmm.
It's not. It's going to give you a kick in the ass for sure, but performance-wise, it's just not. Not that it's not good. It's just not better than Hooligan. It's not a personal opinion. It's a fact.
Yeah, from a pure performance enhancing aspect, you're not going to recover efficiently cardiovascularly when you've got that many stimulants in your system from one set to another, or within a combat or a sparring session or something.
It has its place in the market for stim junkies
Hmm.
and people that maybe power lifters, maybe strongman competitors,
Yeah.
perhaps. So there is market for it. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not necessarily a bad product. It's not personally my favorite,
Hmm.
even though we make it. I mean, but it's a good product just for its own intended market.
Yeah.
I prefer Kumite, and you know that, and you know the reasons why. I think that's just my favorite pre-workout. To me, that's the best.
Yeah.
But if somebody is lifting weights, they should go with probably Hooligan or bare knuckle. I mean, but the reason why we were talking about it is because when I found out about DMHA, the original Assassin also contained hordenine and it contained the hygenamine. So I know
Yep.
those ingredients are also on the way out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's soon, but definitely they in a process of being removed potentially because I know there were letters that
Yep.
few of my manufacturers also received, especially regarding hordenine. Do I agree with it? No, I don't. But it's not my place to make the laws,
Yeah.
So there's not much I can do. And so I know that when it comes to Assassin, I know DMHA is on its way out, hordenine is on its way out, and I know hygenamine is on its way out as well. I haven't heard anything about ureagenesis.
Hmm.
I haven't heard anything, but considering the trend,
Hmm.
if MHA is out in 2019, 2020, I think there's a good argument that ureagenesis is on its way out.
Yeah, by 21 or 22.
Yes, 2 to 3 years. But right now, no, I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay.
I did reformulate it, and you saw it yourself. I mean, it's
Yep.
still going to be a very strong pre-workout if we choose to release it.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have DMHA. We're not going to have hygenamine. We're not going to have hordenine in it. It is what it is. We don't have a choice but to accept it.
Gotcha. What is it going to take going forward to be considered among the strongest pre-workouts on the market? Is it the scoop size? Is it the dosing of the ingredients? Is it flavoring? What do you see going forward with the increased restrictions on what stimulants we can use? What's it going to take for brands to truly step out in the years to come?
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah. The reason why I'm saying it is because when it comes to stimulants, the market is changing almost now on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? Well, maybe would have suspected the DMA would be on the way out. But look, in the last decade or so, ephedrine is out, or ephedra. DMA is out. DMHA is out. You and I just talked about hordenine and hygenamine. They on the way out. More than likely, ureagenesis is on its way out potentially soon too. I can see the restrictions on caffeine as well. I can definitely see that because, I mean, around the world, there are certain countries that I believe don't even allow more than 100, 150 milligram of caffeine per serving.
Yeah.
So I can see restrictions on that. However, I mean, I don't know why, because we just talked about it. There is scientific proof that we can use high amounts of caffeine with absolutely no problems. In fact, there is
Right.
also benefit to it. You know, the
Yeah.
only thing I would say is probably like to take a break from stimulants here and there just to clear your receptors.
Hmm.
That's just the way I feel. Like for me personally, what works is I will use kumite when I do kickboxing.
Hmm.
Not all the time, but most of the time.
Yeah.
If I'm lifting and I need a kick in the ass, I will use regular hooligan.
Hmm.
If I don't need a kick in the ass and I just want pump, I will use bare knuckle because it's stem free. So
Yeah.
because I'm cycling them all the time, sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I don't, sometimes I use a different one.
Yeah.
Seems like it works on me constantly because I believe we can release Hooligan tomorrow with 1,000 milligram of caffeine.
Hmm.
That's gonna be, I think, really pushing the envelope, but it's still not
Yeah.
gonna be completely outrageous. I mean, it will be outrageous, but in terms of like,
Yeah.
will it kill you? Probably not. However,
I like that. Probably not.
probably not. However, I think that even if you're a healthy individual and you can take 1,000 milligram of caffeine, even if you
Hmm.
can take 1,500 milligram of caffeine, and you're going to have a phenomenal workout and you're going to have super energy and everything else, try to use that amount for a whole month, for example. You're not going to feel it.
No, you won't.
You won't feel it. That's a fact. So I think that those products, no matter like what do you want, whether it's 200 or as high as 1,000 milligram of caffeine, I know for a fact there are people who are having 3, 4, 5 bangs a day.
Yeah, or the people that go to that's what the argument I raised with Chris from Anova Farm when I was talking to him a couple weeks ago on the podcast is that there's all these people are jumping in to say, well, this is dangerous amount of caffeine, this is dangerous, we shouldn't have allowed this much more caffeine in pre-workouts or whatever. But nobody's restricting how many coffees you can buy or how many shots of espresso you can get added to
Absolutely.
your Starbucks or what size or how much caffeine is in your drip coffee from Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or anything like that. So I don't. I fail to see the difference between the two.
I can see that those RTDs like Bang and Rain and all that
Yeah.
and Monster, I can definitely see in the next year or two if there's not going to be any restrictions, there's going to be 500 and 600 milligram per can for
Yeah.
sure. There's no doubt about it. Why? Because at first it was 200, then
Hmm.
it went to 250, I believe,
Yeah.
300. I don't remember which brand. I just saw that there is going to be 400 now.
Yeah. It's. I
So,
think it's a Rockstar's new Endurance or Endurance or whatever it's called, something like
yeah,
that.
I think that's the one. So 400. So for example, if there's 400, it's not out of the question there's going to be 500.
Yeah.
Now, look, for example, when you're going to have, say, Hooligan, right?
Hmm.
You're going to take it once a day. You're going to take it once a day before your workout.
Yeah.
And because you work out on average 4 to 5 times a week, even if you take it before every workout, you're still not having it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, more than likely, it's going to last you a while, and your receptors getting some kind of a cleaning at least because you're not regularly using it, not every single day.
Right.
But people do drink few cups of coffee every day,
Yeah.
and people do have few cans of Bang every day. It's almost like an addiction now.
Yeah.
They like the taste. I actually tried Bang yesterday, one of the flavors. I think it was lemon drop or something.
Hmm.
I really like the flavor.
Yeah. Lemon Drop's a really good one. I like
I,
that one.
I, I really enjoyed the flavor. So, if you're asking me, I would probably drink 2 or 3 a day.
Hmm.
But that's it. That's 900 milligram of caffeine per day. So,
Yeah.
it's a caffeine overload, and you don't see exactly people dropping dead.
Right.
I don't see it happening, and the toxic levels are going to 2, 3,000 milligram. So, if you're not a healthy individual, just simply don't touch it.
Right.
Don't touch it. The reason why I think Hooligan is so popular
Hmm.
is because the 2, 300 milligram pre-workouts for majority of people, they don't work because the receptors are so fucked by now.
Yeah, they've had so much caffeine just from all the other sources, either years and years of pre-workouts or endless cups of coffee, diet sodas, regular sodas, energy drinks, everything.
I've seen people taking 2 scoops of a Hooligan. I think it's
Holy shit!
I think it's crazy, but I have seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it. Now, as outrageous as it is, again, more than likely it won't kill you.
Right.
And so we can handle it. It's just like my advice to people is, don't pay attention just to pre-workouts, such as all the high stem ones like Hooligan, I know Aris, and all those pre-workouts that are a little bit like higher. Those like Performix, I think is 400 or 450.
Yeah,
Those
Performax has 400 in theirs. Yeah.
400. So don't pay attention necessarily to these pre-workouts. Oh my God, will it kill me? No, 99% it won't kill you unless you already have some kind of a condition,
Yeah.
But pay attention to how many cups of coffee you're drinking per day.
Hmm.
Pay attention to how many Bangs and Rain and Monsters you're drinking throughout the day, because that's what accumulates in your body, and that's the reason why something like Hooligan, I've heard people saying like, yeah, Hooligan doesn't work on me as well as it used to. No, it doesn't, because you have probably 2,000 milligram of caffeine in your system throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Hooligan is just basically a small drop.
Hmm.
It doesn't do much. Get off the fucking caffeine.
Yeah.
Get off of it. Clean your receptors. Then a product like Performance, a product like Hooligan will work beautifully for you
Hmm.
if you're not using it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity to use pre-workout. Pre-workout is supposed to give you, I think you can benefit from a non-steam pre-workout. That's my
Hmm.
personal opinion. It's going to provide you nitric oxide boost. It's going to provide you a good pump, focus, all those necessary components that are very, very important for your workout.
Yeah.
And you're going to benefit tremendously. Something that has caffeine in it, well, just lay off of it for a few days or a
Hmm.
day or two. Clean your receptors. Use it as needed.
Yeah.
There are days where you don't need the caffeine. Is just a boost.
Hmm.
That's all it is. It's a boost to have a good workout.
Right.
It's not something that's going to actually add in your focus and pump and all those necessary components for a good workout.
Yeah.
It's just going to give you a boost. So if you can cycle your caffeine, then whether you're using 200 or 800 milligram is irrelevant.
Hmm.
You can choose your pre-workout accordingly. If
Yeah.
something with 400 is good for you, be my guest. If 700 is good for you, then use Hooligan. You're going to have a spectacular workout, and you're going to have all the added benefits from other ingredients.
Yeah.
But cycle it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I always tell people that protein and perhaps, creatine and maybe even BCAAs to an extent, those you can have on a regular basis. You're okay.
Hmm.
Although creatine, I would still prefer to cycle too.
Hmm.
But that's personal preference. But when it comes to a pre-workout, there is no such thing. To me personally, whatever works for you.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is your give us a glimpse into what your daily supplement routine is, or what's your regular supplement intake look like?
Okay, that's a question I've never been asked. Uh, well, I take multivitamins in the morning.
Hmm.
I also take fish oil. I take prescription fish oil, Vasipa.
Hmm.
Alina actually works for the company, and she was talking about it, showed all the research, and then my doctor also said that it helps with triglycerides and it's really, really beneficial.
Hmm.
So I've noticed there is definitely a shift in the good cholesterol and all that. So I'm taking Vasipa, I'm taking multivitamins on a daily basis. I'm taking CoQ10
Hmm.
on a daily basis. I'm taking vitamin D.
Hmm.
That's my morning routine. Vitamin
Yeah.
C, I take about 1,000 milligram on a daily basis. Um, that's pretty much when it comes to vitamins and all that. Am I missing something? I think that's pretty much it, more or less. Um, I take shake twice a day.
Hmm.
Once I drink it as is, just as a protein shake, and once I just mix peanut butter cookie in cream of rice. I really like that. I think I'm addicted to it actually. So
That's a good combo.
yeah, I like to sprinkle it with a few berries, and it's just delicious.
Hmm.
So I have that. So that's comes with BCA. I drink chainsaw throughout the day, mainly because I can't stand water. I just don't like the taste of water.
Hmm.
So I like chainsaw, and the fact that we have pretty good flavors, I enjoy it throughout the day. I just drink it instead of just regular water.
What's your favorite flavor of chainsaw? Because I've had the strawberry margarita and the coconut lime. I think those are the only two flavors I've had of it.
There is Blue Bomb, which is basically like Blue Raspberry, but slightly different. I'll actually send it to you because that was the most popular one when we
Hmm.
initially started.
Okay.
Um, Strawberry Margarita and Blue Bomb actually went neck and neck, but Coconut Lime Juan Morel made it very, very popular, and actually CJ. CJ
Yeah.
loved it so much he was
Yep.
obsessed with it, and TJ also. TJ really loves that one too. So, but I would still say coconut lime is probably
Okay.
third place. I actually do something right now that my daughter does, which I mix 1 scoop of strawberry margarita and 1 scoop of blue bomb,
Ooh.
and it tastes very, very interesting. So I've been doing it now for a couple of weeks.
I bet that sounds good. I would think the strawberry and coconut lime together would be good. It'd
I,
almost be like a strawberry
I
pina
heard
colada kind of
about
vibe.
that, but I haven't tried it. Actually, you know what I tried? I tried somebody, a member of the gym, told me to use our vanilla protein
Hmm.
and drop a scoop of coconut lime into it.
Ooh,
That
that
was
does
very
sound good.
interesting. I thought it sounded disgusting, but I tried it. It tasted
Yeah.
very good. It
Huh.
tasted really good.
I think
So
we've got some bourbon here at the house. I might have to try mixing the coconut lime with some bourbon and see how that works. Or some we've got lemon vodka here too. That might
as
work
long
well.
as long as I have not you but Sandy reviewing it, we're
Yeah.
good to go. Sandy,
Okay. Well,
because
she'll be great breaking out the wine glasses or something or the shot
I,
glasses.
I think that would be hysterical. So I use that. In terms of pre-workouts, I told you I cycle them all the time,
Right.
and there are days when I won't use at all.
Hmm.
So I admit that. I use cluster bomb, cluster dextrin. I use usually
Yeah.
post-workout.
Yep.
I feel the difference.
Yeah. Better
Um,
recovery with it.
yeah, I feel there is difference. Definitely better recovery, and it doesn't bloat my stomach. So I'm really a fan of cyclic dextrin.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much when it comes to supplements. Um, I am on TRT, so I'm taking 200 milligram of testosterone on a weekly basis because I'm old. I'm 44, so I'm
You're not that
and
old. Oh, you just
and
admitted you just admitted TRT, so we don't have to worry about any fake natty claims. So there you go. You
no,
already quashed that.
and you know what? I also use vitamin B12 injectable on a weekly basis.
How do you like that?
I do feel the difference.
Hmm.
I definitely feel more energized. I feel better. I read some studies that the vitamin B complex, in a pill form,
Hmm.
doesn't do shit. Uh, you probably that's a homework for you to look into it. But from what I understand, it like just breaks down by your liver, and it doesn't really work that well. Again, I don't know if there is any truth to it or not.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
gonna have to look
I,
into that.
yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I know that for sure, but that's at least what I've read a few times. The vitamin B12 for 1000 I use, I believe, I take every week,
Hmm.
but just once a week.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the shots are very painful because it's water based. It's very
Ooh.
yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt after. It hurts just when it
Yeah.
goes
Well, it's
in.
going through. Yeah.
But I do feel more energized. Although I feel, again, it's a personal thing. I feel that after maybe 8 to 12 weeks, something like that, 2 3 months,
Hmm.
I think my body gets used to it.
Hmm.
In terms of like overall feeling, I still think there is benefit to it,
Yeah.
but in terms of like energy levels,
Hmm.
I just don't feel as much as when I feel the first couple of weeks.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. I think like when it comes to like supplements and stuff that I use.
Hmm. Cool. What is planned for the rest of 2019? Because we're going to start entering the back half of 2019 here in a month or so. What's the plan for the brand? You mentioned Hooligan V4 is coming out. What else is in the works? Without you don't have to divulge everything, but if you can give us some hints at least.
Well, the first product is going to be Hooligan, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. Then we are releasing something that you're very familiar with because you and I discussed this for a while.
Mm.
Is Overtime.
Yep.
That's going to be a very interesting product. I'm really looking forward to how people are going to react to
It'll
that.
be fun.
So,
This will
so
be a
that
fun one. I think they'll like it.
that's gonna be, yeah, the only downside to it, but you know the ingredients already. I mean,
Hmm.
the only, well, not to me, it's not a downside, but I know a lot of people will bitch about it, is the fact that the serving size is gonna be 6 capsules.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just such a loaded product that there was no way around it. So it is what it is. For me, it's not a problem.
Yeah. It's versatile
Um,
dosing too.
so yeah, but in reality, you've seen the supplement facts. Even if you use, I think, three, you're still gonna get a
A
lot
good.
out of
Yeah.
it. So that one's going to be released also in the next couple of weeks. I would say 3 to 4 weeks. We're reformulating creatine, so it's
Hmm.
going to be. I feel like the creatine that we have is great. I mean, it's 2,500 monohydrate and 2,500 anhydrous.
Right.
But I just feel because of the way Apollon is. We need something a little bit different, so we're going to reformulate that.
Yeah.
We're also releasing a sleep formula this year. Hooligan Bare Knuckle is also going to have a facelift, so it's going to be slightly different. There's going to be more pump to it. I believe it show you the formula, I think. Enigma is going to have EAAs, so all you suckers who believe so much in EAAs are going to have it as well. So enjoy it. You know, it's just bitch flavoring it. But
Yeah.
so Enigma is going to have EAAs. I mean, it's going to be a great product, nevertheless. You know, we're going to most likely release one more flavor of protein towards the end of the year.
Cool.
Maybe around October or November. But I need Sandy's input, not yours.
See how it is.
So I'm gonna send her a sample. It's gonna be, I'm gonna say Sandy.
Just Sandy only.
Yeah, Sandy on it. Um, sorry, Robert. She's just so good at it.
It's alright.
And
Yeah,
so,
she's a natural.
And so that's pretty much it for now. I think there are no other plans. And just continue growing, you know, getting more good people on board, you know, working closer with you, working with people. I'm not going to send our products to companies that review just because they're getting paid, and, you know, because if I see the review companies blowing us some bullshit product, I want nothing to do with that company.
Yeah.
You know, it has nothing to do with money. It just has to be with the fact that if I don't believe them, that I believe that our customers are not going to believe them either.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to limit the, you know, we're getting approached by review companies all the time. You know, we want to review the product, we want to review the product. And maybe initially I was very, very happy about it, and I would send the product just about to anyone. That's not going to happen anymore. There's going to be 3, 4, 5 review channels that are trustworthy, and we're going to continue working with them. Whether they're going to, you know, say that our products are good or bad. But to be honest with you, because our products are really so good and so honest and so transparent, what the fuck can you say negative about it? That it doesn't taste as good? Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's a transparent product and it's honest product, I'm good. And I know somebody like you or somebody like TJ, there's no way you're going to say anything negative. I shouldn't be worried about it. Companies that are putting out shitty product, they should be worried.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can see is saying, well, maybe this caffeine is a little bit too much for me. That's not to say it's too much for everybody, but it just might be too much for me personally or something like that. But I mean, the other dosages of the ingredients are quality doses. So from that point of view, it wouldn't be bashed.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And like I said before, not only that, I mean, Hooligan, specifically since we're talking about Hooligan, when it comes to caffeine content, yes, it's high. However, I always say, like, you don't want caffeine, you don't want stimulants, go with bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Or mix half a scoop of bare knuckle and half a scoop of regular one. Boom, you have less caffeine and just as good of a product, if not better.
Yeah, they're complementary because there's some synergism between the two products.
You know, so I think just like we can't go wrong. You know, we can definitely target somebody who wants that crazy strong pre-workout, but it's not necessarily, like I said, like you said, having 600 milligram of caffeine for you, maybe more than you want to.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Right.
It's not bad. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm roughly 80 kilos, and the data is anywhere between 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram for performance enhancing. So that's anywhere between 240 to 480 kilograms. So I mean, that would be in the spot. And if somebody's 100 kilograms, that's 300 to 600 milligrams of caffeine that they'd be. So it's, I mean, they're well within range for that. And there's plenty of people out there that are 200 pounds plus that are lifting.
And like we touched upon before, I mean, people who are having 2-3 bangs a day.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket for them.
200-300 milligram of caffeine in a pre-workout not going to do anything for them.
Right.
They're hardly going to feel it. So, I'm proud of it. And, the few people actually asked me when they heard about the new Hooligan, and they said, like, so are you going to continue with the trend, and stay faithful to your core and to your customers, or are you going to tone it down? No, I'm not toning it down. I'm actually going up.
Yeah. Stick to what you got here, and it's worked so far.
I think that, we're going to stick to what we've been doing, and I encourage other companies to stick to what they've been doing. If it works for them and if they believe in it, proprietary blend, transparent label, whatever, you're successful, who am I to say otherwise for you? I mean, clearly you have the customers for it. Go for it.
Yeah, might as well.
But if you're going to ask for somebody like you, yours opinion or my opinion, we're going to be honest. So careful. Don't ask us.
Very, very true, my friend. I think I've kept you on long enough. I don't want to abuse your time. I'd like to be respectful of it. Where can
Yeah,
everybody find?
we're just going to text each other later on.
Oh yeah, that's all. Well, yeah, as always. You want to do a pitch for the brand or where they can follow Apollon at and all of that good stuff?
ApollonNutrition.com or on Instagram, Facebook, we're pretty much everywhere. Or you can send me a message and just say how good looking I am. On my personal Instagram. No, but we're easy to find these days. And, I just want to say thank you, Robert, for everything you have done for the brand and, for putting the word out there, for your support, for your continuous support. And obviously, people that listen to your channel and people that, respect and support you, those are clearly our kind of people. And we are very, very appreciative to you, Sandy, and your audience.
The feeling's mutual, Robbie. Thank you for everything, and the most of all, the friendship, man. It's been awesome getting to know you these past few years, and I'm looking forward to an enjoyable ride coming down. And when you're in Texas in a month, we're going to get some serious barbecue.
Oh, well, yeah. Don't show me Apollon Nutrition. I want barbecue.
Let's do it, man.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Robbie. Have a good one, man.
You too.